Hi gang, it's Todd Nauck, and we're back with a new sketch video. I'm doing a post-it note sketch, Jubilee from the X-Men on a pink post-it note, because a lot of Jubilee's aspects of her costume and her accessories are pink. So I thought that would work well here on a pink post-it note. So we just jump right into it and start roughing in the shapes, or roughing in the guidelines, the eye line, then I'm going to do the nose line here, and then the mouth line. Do this every time. I do this every time for any character I draw. I got to know where those guidelines are. It really helps keep things in place as best as possible. So it's a step you can't skip, in my opinion. So let's see. When I asked for some questions from you guys on my different social networks, I got flooded with tons of questions, more questions than I can fit in any one given video. So we're just going to jump right back into those questions while I sketch here, and every now and again I'll share with you some of the tips and tricks of whatever process I'm working on in the moment. So let's see what you guys have been asking here on the different social networks, which those social networks that I'm on are listed below in the info of this video. So if you're on any of those social networks, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, you can find me on those social networks as well, and all the links below. So let's see what questions y'all have to ask. Well, over on the Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page, Black-Haired Demon asks, what do you like to draw for fun versus work? Let's see. Pretty much it's the same thing. What I like to do for fun is the same thing I like to do for work, and that's draw superheroes. I have a passion for superheroes, superhero comics, and so those are the things I like to draw the most. So when I'm not drawing my X-Men comic, I'm drawing X-Men for fun because I'm a huge X-Men fan. And I don't just draw X-Men, I draw all sorts of characters, but a lot of my favorite stuff are the characters that I enjoy reading, whether they be Justice League International characters like Booster Gold or Blue Beetle, X-Men characters, Spider-Man characters. That's the stuff I like to do. My wife laughs that, and she'll share this with you, with anyone who, when we see you at a comic book convention, that I'll spend all day drawing my comic book stuff, whether I'm working on Nightcrawler or something else, and then I'm done with my work day. Don, I'm just going to draw for fun. Who do I draw? I end up drawing Nightcrawler, a Nightcrawler post-it note sketch or a commission or something like that. I'm going to draw my favorite characters for fun because it's just a passion of mine and what I like to do. So to answer your question, it's the same answer. Thanks for the question, Black-Haired Demon. I got a lot of questions from Black-Haired Demon, so we're going to hear from that person quite a bit. But let's jump to another question here. Still on the Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page, Lucas Ackerman asks, have any plans after Nightcrawler yet? If y'all didn't know, I've been drawing the Nightcrawler series for Marvel for the past year. I did a Nightcrawler video when I first started drawing the series that you might have seen about a year back. So I just wrapped up my last issue. The last issue comes out here in late March. It was a lot of fun doing that series. Nightcrawler is one of my favorite X-Men, one of my favorite comic book characters, so it was a real thrill to get to draw one of my favorite characters and work with legendary X-Men writer Chris Claremont, who I've been enjoying his work since I was a teenager. So that was pretty exciting as well. So yeah, that series is all done. I'm doing some stuff for Marvel. Let's see, like some variant covers. I think they've just released online that I'll be doing a cover for Silk #2, and let's see, I'm doing a story for Deadpool 250, The Death of Deadpool, which is out in April, so don't miss that. That was a lot of fun to get to draw one of those stories. Probably one of my weirdest stories I've gotten to draw in my career yet. It's right up there in the top 2 or 3 weird stories I've gotten to draw, and I drew Marvel Apes versus Marvel Zombies, and that was pretty weird. That one might be the weirdest, but this Deadpool story is really close. So I'm always posting about what I'm going to be working on next on all my social networks, as well as my website, toddnauck.com. So if you follow me on any of that, you'll always be up to speed when I'm allowed to talk about what I'm doing next. So I look forward to letting you guys know where to find me on the comic book shelves, when I'm allowed to say that. So thanks for your question, Lucas. Let's see, over at Instagram, Jonol_art, hopefully I said that right, he asks, when you're going to ink something or draw over it, what do you most recommend to use? Well, it all depends on what you feel comfortable with. Me personally, I use Pigma Micron markers. I use Pentel pocket brush pens, a Kuretake brush pen. I've just now started using some Zebra disposable brush pens. So it's really what works for you. And these are the things I just kind of discovered on my own, or a friend introduced me to, like Will Spartasio introduced me to the the Zebra disposable brush pens, and I think they're really great. So a lot of these can be found online, either jetpens.com, jerry'sartoramas.com is another place I like to go to, or I'll get those Zebra pens at the Daiso Japan store. You can look to see if you have one of those in your area. So those are just some of the things I use, and if you're able to get a hold of some of those, give them a try and see if they work for you. Let's see, Zachary Smith over on Facebook asks, top 3 characters to draw. Well, I have a lot of characters that I like to draw. It's hard to narrow it down to 3, but if I was put on the spot, I had to name three characters. I would say number 1, Kitty Pryde. I'm a huge Kitty Pryde fan. I love drawing her. So I'd say Kitty Pryde number 1. Number 2, Booster Gold. I'm a huge Booster Gold fan. Always fun to draw Booster Gold. And number 3, I would probably say Iceman. It's really fun to draw Iceman. I like drawing the ice structure to him, and it's really fun to color as well. I'll have to do an Iceman video sometime and show y'all how a new trick I've learned to coloring ice. So those would be my 3 characters. Zachary, thanks for the question. Nath Stones on Facebook, he just says weapons of choice: pens, markers, inks, etc. Well, I did mention in the question or two back that I'm really into Pigma Micron markers and Pentel pocket brush pen, Kuretake brush pen. I like using all these different types of pens because I get a different effect. So I don't have my weapons of choice are anything I can use to put a mark on a page. If it's a Sharpie marker, if it's a ballpoint pen, a gel pen, all sorts of pencils, all sorts of different colored markers, I use them because I like to create, and each one has a different application to the page, so I have to think in a different way, and anytime I get thinking in a different way, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm evolving. So weapons of choice, all of them. Thanks for your question, Nath. Hopefully I got close to an answer that you were looking for. Let's see, heading over to Twitter, at Dolph Draws posts the question, or actually questions, what are the guidelines to constructing a portfolio? And will you start posting videos on a regular basis anytime soon? Well, to answer the second part of your question first, I'm trying to get videos up as regularly as I can. Work deadlines and convention travel, I should say, really kind of get in the way of that. So I try to get the videos up as quick as I can, and I'm doing everything I can to keep them up more regularly. Hopefully shooting these and recording the commentaries on my iPhone will help speed up that process. But I got lots more videos to put up, lots more videos shot from the past year, more multi-putters, so I'm just hoping to get them ready and up to share with you guys. But I appreciate all your guys' support and wanting to see more videos. That means a lot. So to answer your first question, what are the guidelines to constructing a portfolio? Here are some basic rules of thumb to consider. You'll want to have 3 to 5 pages of storytelling artwork in your portfolio. Show the editor you can tell a story visually. And you want to have a scene in there. And if you're over the course of those 3 to 5 pages, you want to try to, if you can, incorporate a fight scene that segues into a talking scene, or a talking scene that escalates into a fight scene, so that you can draw quiet moments and action moments. You want to have good backgrounds and perspective, camera angles. You want to vary your camera angles and the different types of shots, whether it's a close-up of the face or a long shot to show where all the characters are at. You really want to be able to show the editors you can tell a story. They can get a good sense of what you can do in 3 to 5 pages. And you don't want to bring a portfolio that has 20 pages of all sorts of stuff. Here's some loose sketches. Here's a painting I didn't finish. You don't want to have all that. They see tons of portfolios. They can tell what they need to see in 4 to 5 pages. And I think they really appreciate just having just 4 or 5 pages that they have to look at. They can critique and move from there. So that's really recommended. You don't need a bunch, and have your best work in there. And don't ever tell the editor, this isn't my best work, because then they'll ask, well, where's your best work? So why are you showing me not your best stuff then? So make sure you do your best work, and it's telling a story. pinups and cover type stuff, they can critique that, but it really doesn't help move you along to getting a job drawing comics, because drawing comics is about telling stories. So show them that you're a storyteller. Hopefully this info helps when you're putting together your portfolio and heading into the conventions. And also make photocopies of your sample pages. And on each photocopy, 8.5 by 11 photocopy, have your name and at the very least email address, a way they can contact you on every page. In case one page gets lost from the rest, they always have your contact info on all of those 3 to 5 pages that you leave with them. Just in case they respond favorably to your portfolio, then you can say, well, here's a sample packet of my pages for you to take with you. Some might be receptive and take it, some might decline. It's cool either way. Just you want to make sure you have something to hand off to them with your contact info. That's most important, because if they want to give you a job, they need to know who to contact. So yeah, keep on drawing and keep working on that portfolio. So heading back over to Facebook, Philip Gasper asks, what is the one series that you would immediately say yes to if you were offered to draw it? You know, I've actually experienced that. When I was offered Nightcrawler, I said yes before the editor even finished offering me the job. He got like partway through, like, we have a series we're interested in having you draw. Wanted to see if you wanted to draw a series starring Nightcrawler. I said yes before he even finished saying Crawler. So I actually have experienced that. But since I finished Nightcrawler, I'm now moving on to new projects. Pretty much if it's still in the X-Men office, I'm pretty much going to say yes. I'm a huge X-Men fan, so, you know, Kitty Pryde, I'd probably say. If I got offered a Kitty Pryde book, I'd say yes to that. Justice League International, I would say yes to that, as long as it had Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, Guy Gardner, Fire, Ice, you know, the classic late 80s Justice League International team. That would be a lot of fun to draw. So those are a couple that I would say yes to immediately. Thanks for the question, Philip. Let's see, Chris Waddams over on Facebook posted this. I started using markers for coloring. He mentions that he had been a pencil artist before, but they always bleed on the paper I use. What paper would you recommend to stop the bleeding? I would recommend probably trying Bristol board. Most of my illustrations I do on Bristol board with Copic Sketch markers, and I get pretty much zero bleeding. Very, very little bleeding, if at all. So that I would suggest that if you're using any type of like really porous sort of paper, a newsprint type of sketch pad, or a construction paper type of sketch pad, or something that doesn't feel very smooth, it's probably pulling in that marker color and is what is causing that bleeding. So you can go over to like a Michael's craft store and use their digital coupon and get a pack of Canson recycled Bristol board, or Strathmore Bristol board, you know, like a pack of 9 by 12 inch Bristol board. You know, I think that's maybe 20 sheets for about $10, maybe less. And if you use their digital coupon, that will help you save money there as well. So that might be a good place to start. You know, just get a nice small pack of Bristol board to start out there, and move from there. Also, it depends on the quality of the markers you're using, if as far as bleeding would go there as well. I'm used to using Copic, so so bleeding really hasn't been a problem that I've dealt with in the past many years, so I don't really think much about the bleeding. Bleeding can still happen for me sometimes. It depends on the type of sketch cover or art material I'm using, but I'm coloring here on Post-it notes, and that's pretty much like traditional paper, and I'm not really encountering much bleeding here, as you've seen in this Jubilee sketch. So hopefully the Bristol board will work for you there, Chris. I appreciate the question. And I think that's all the time we have for the questions as we wrap up this Post-it note sketch that I've been working on. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for all the awesome questions on all my different social networks, which you can find posted below. If you're on any of those, you can come and check me out, as well as my website, toddnauck.com. I'm hoping to get more videos up soon, and I got some more 3-parters that I'm going to start trying to get edited up and share with you guys, and more Post-it notes as well. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys real soon. All the best.